What's up, guys? Nate here. Just in the new office setup that we have. We got the nice panels in the background with the lights and the fake plant there. As you'll notice, we're going to get more and more creative as you see more of these, and you'll see it get upgraded as we go. As you can tell, this is just episode 1 of many to come for you guys. So I got asked a few questions recently, and some clients of mine as well. They're kind of just curious about, how can I start getting better results? Believe it or not, a lot of clients that I train, they don't focus on their nutrition. They don't focus on their workouts outside of the gym, no matter what I try to tell them or do. But some of them are finally trying to come around and say, hey, okay, I really want to start getting results now. And I'm like, great. So I want that for you too. And what we're going to talk about today in today's topic is what to eat around your workout, okay? It matters. It definitely matters. You definitely don't want to go to all-you-can-eat buffet and stuff your face where you're about to crap your pants before you work out. We want to be strategic with it. We also want to make sure we're getting good nutrients that's going to not only fuel your workout, but also improve your performance, okay? So I'm a big believer in digestible foods. What does digestible foods mean? We want to have something that is easily digestible for you, meaning it doesn't bloat you, it doesn't make you feel heavy, it doesn't give you a lot of gas. And so what we're going to do today is just talk about some different things you can do and why we do them, okay? So for the most part, you want to have a lean protein and some kind of carbohydrate. And again, this is going to vary on the individual, but some kind of fat source, whether it's a low fat or moderate fat. Some individuals like doing higher fats, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the two main components I would highly recommend is a lean protein source and some kind of complex carbohydrate that is easily digestible. Now, what are some lean protein sources you can choose from? You've got chicken breast, chicken tenderloins, you can do egg whites, you can do whey protein, you can do soy protein, grass-fed beef isolate protein. You can definitely do lean ground beef if you'd like to. I wouldn't go any lower than 93.7 on that. Any kind of white fish will be good for you, and so on and so forth. Those are just some examples. There's a lot more of those to it, guys. And also, we want to make sure we're consuming an adequate amount of protein. We don't want to go too crazy on the protein and eat so much where we just feel our belly distended, but just a good amount of protein. And I'll get into that in a different episode as far as how much protein you should be consuming. Me personally, I do grass-fed beef isolate protein before I work out. Why don't I use whey? Why don't I use other kinds of protein powder? The reason why is because grass-fed beef, it has a higher biological protein value. What does that mean? Beef you're going to consume, or beef when you consume it, you're going to absorb a lot more nutrients and a lot more protein. It's got more vitamins and minerals in it compared to a whey protein isolate. The beef protein I consume, it's actually from TrueNutrition.com, and it's actually kind of like you can almost smell the beef or the grass-fed beef in there when you're doing it. And it sounds kind of gross, but it's actually really tasteful and it tastes amazing. They've got all sorts of flavors and it's really just clean and lean for you, right? In addition to that, when we talk about carbohydrates as well, we want to have complex carbs or some kind of carbohydrate that you can easily digest. And again, what I mean by that, I like to always go with like rice or rice products, like cream of rice. You can do baby rice. You've got your oatmeal. You've got your quinoas, your sweet potatoes, your white potatoes. These are all going to basically be your energy for your workouts. Carbohydrates are simply fuel for your workouts, for energy expenditure, right? Technically, you don't need carbohydrates to function. The two main macronutrients that you need to survive are proteins and fats. But we need carbohydrates because they're protein sparing. So if you don't have enough carbs in your system before you work out, you're going to feel maybe lethargic. Your blood sugar might crash. You're going to maybe not be able to lift as much. You're going to run out of gas sooner than later than what you'd like to. I love recommending cream of rice just because if you think about it, it's just pretty much rice in itself, granulated into a small little powder. You mix it with water, easily digestible, easy to eat. And there's different flavors. So 2 products I like to use. Number 1, Bowl of Gains. They've got a lot of different flavored cream of rices, and the second one I like to use as well is rice and grinds. I like to use those two products, number one, because of the flavor, but number two, I'm consuming a lot of cream of rice, and cream of rice, keep in mind, is pretty high in iron. So if you're consuming 3, 4, or 5 servings of cream of rice in a day, you're far surpassing your daily limit of iron, which impacts your liver. So it's something that a lot of us don't ever think about is like, oh, I never thought about that. Well, now you do since you watched this video. And so that's one product that I like to use, or those two products, because I'm getting the fuel, it's easily digestible, it doesn't fill me up. Because again, if you eat actual rice itself, it's gonna expand. Cream of rice, it's already ground up into a powder, mix it with water, it's easily good to go. And then from there, I like to do that about 60 to 80 minutes pre-workout, okay? A lot of times people, they come to the workout and they don't have breakfast, they don't have food, or if you're working out in the middle of the day, you've gone 4 or 5 hours without eating a meal. I highly recommend having some kind of meal source 60 to 80 minutes beforehand. Why do we wait that long? Because again, we want to make sure the food goes down and it's not like you just stuffed your face and you're coming to the gym and you're going to squat and crap all over my floor. We don't want that at all. And you don't want that either. It's embarrassing. Funny to watch if it happens somewhere else, but you don't want that to happen. Trust me, I know from experience. And then we want to talk about intra-workout, okay? Intra-workout. Not everyone needs intra-workout nutrition, okay? So if you're just, trying to maintain or trying to lose a little bit of body fat, your workouts are 30 to 45 minutes, you're not going too intense, you may not need intra-workout nutrition. Now, a lot of you guys, though, trying to build muscle, hold on to muscle, get the gains, recover faster, improve performance. If all those kind of fall into what you're trying to do, then I would highly recommend intra-workout. Okay, so why do we need intra-workout, or what do we put intra-workout? Okay, I'll tell you. So number one, I would highly recommend essential amino acids, anywhere from 10 grams to 20 grams, depending on the individual. Essential amino acids are simply just the building blocks that make protein, but you're not actually eating a protein source itself. So again, it's a great way to keep your body in an anabolic state while you're working out. Second of all, I highly recommend some kind of carbohydrate powder, whether it's Carbolin, Vitargo. There's several other products out there. I personally use Carbolin. We want to have that steady glucose level throughout your workout, okay? So when you're working out, and depending on the intensity and what you're doing, typically your blood sugars drop. That's why if you've ever worked out on an empty stomach or fasted per se, or a long time that you've last ate your meal, you might get a little lightheaded or dizzy or feel nauseated. It's because your blood sugar's dropping, okay? So if you're working out high intense, you're trying to build muscle mass, your workouts are at least 60 minutes to 80 to 90 minutes because you're just pounding those weights, I would highly recommend some kind of carbohydrate source during your workout. Now, you don't need a lot of carbohydrates because, again, you just had carbs 60 to 80 minutes beforehand. So during your workout, anywhere from like 30 grams to 50 grams should suffice. In addition to that, I highly recommend doing a little sodium in your intra-workout, okay? So a lot of times we focus on carbohydrates and protein and all this stuff, but we never really consider sodium. And sodium's going to really be handy when it comes to muscle contractions, okay? And it's going to help avoid cramping and also keep you hydrated, believe it or not. So you've got your intra-workout Carbolin, you've got your essential amino acids, you've got your sodium, and last but not least, what I would highly recommend is some kind of creatine monohydrate. I typically recommend 5 grams for a person to do into your workout. Now, mind you, when I say intra-workout, you're going to have like your water bottle, then have a separate intra-workout mix that you have to where you can sip on this a little bit at a time, sip a little bit of water, go back and forth, so on and so forth. Now, I would highly recommend also finishing your intra-workout shake about 10 to 20 minutes before the end of the workout, okay? And this is why. Because the last thing you want to do is just have your intra-workout all the way to the very end of the workout, and then from there you go to your post-workout meal, okay? Now, speaking of that, now we're going to talk about your post-workout nutrition. So I'm guilty of this myself. Years ago, before I knew any better, I was just a huge proponent on you got to drink your shake and your Carbolin and whatever it is you're doing post-workout, whether you're eating, you got to do it right away because it's like a time. You got to go in that anabolic window within that 30 to 45 minute window to recover. And essentially, you don't I've leaned away from that, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so a lot of you have probably worked out pretty intensely, whether it's a heavy leg day or a back day or just a high intense circuit, whatever you're doing. And when you're done with your workout, you're not essentially just cool down. You don't just cool down like that. It takes time to go to get your body back to kind of homeostasis, right? So you have to think of two things. You've got your parasympathetic nervous system and you've got your sympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system is going to be what kind of calms you down, right? It brings you back in a relaxed state, rest and digest. Then you've got your sympathetic nervous system, which is going to basically get you in a highly anabolic state, fight or flight, ready to go, you know? So when you're working out, you are in a sympathetic nervous system. It's just firing, right? If you're going heavy squats, heavy leg presses, deadlifts, you name it, your nervous system is getting shocked or fried per se, getting used up to get you going, okay? And it takes time for that sympathetic nervous system to go down and then for the parasympathetic system to come back up and kind of regulate. Now, the reason why I say nowadays you don't have to consume your post-workout nutrition immediately, you could probably wait anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes post-workout. This is why. Because when you're done with a workout and you're just huffing and puffing, it takes a while for your body to recover, go down. Your sympathetic nervous system is still firing at that moment, okay? So what we want to do is essentially let it cool down. The reason why is anytime your sympathetic nervous system is up and going, it holds water into your gut in that intestine right there. And what happens is if you essentially consume a post-workout nutrition while that sympathetic nervous system is super high still, you're going to feel bloated. It's not going to digest as well. You might get gassy. You're not going to absorb the nutrients as well because it's just your body's not in a state of absorption. That's why a lot of times if you have a really hardcore workout and you're just like screaming and pushing, you might end up throwing up. It's because your body's sympathetic nervous system is just taxed to its full degree and it's going to make you want to vomit, okay? So what I would recommend is essentially once you're done with your last set, depending on what the workout is, you're going to give it 20 to 45 minutes. And then from there, that's when you consume your post-workout nutrition. Now, what do we do post-workout nutrition? Here's what I would recommend. Some kind of protein, very similar to the pre-workout. Easily digestible protein. Again, you cannot go with grass-fed beef isolate unless you don't like to do animal-based products, and you can go with some other kind of protein powder source, whether it's pea protein or anything else like that, rice protein, you name it. But from there, I would recommend a faster digesting carbohydrate or even a complex carb as that. So again, you can't go wrong with cream of rice. So what I like to do, pre and post workout, my grass-fed beef isolate, and then my cream of rice. And I usually do that about 30 minutes post-workout, okay? So again, guys, what you want to do is keep in mind is your nutrition pre-workout, keep it 60 to 80 minutes. Now, mind you, if you're going to go for a long bike ride or you're going to be a long workout, which I don't recommend having a long, super long weightlifting session per se. You're not efficient if you're going that way. Again, protein, carbs, maybe a little bit of fats because fats slow digestion. And so that can kind of slow everything over and help kind of maintain during your workout. Intra-workout, you've got your stack now. You've got your EAAs, your creatine, your carbolin, your sodium. And then from there, post-workout, let your parasympathetic nervous system kick in. Let yourself calm down, and then repeat almost the same thing what you do pre-workout, but just no fats post-workout. Because post-workout, we want to be able to absorb it as fast as possible, right? And we don't want fats in there. So, again, guys, that's what I recommend for your peri-workout nutrition. Peri-workout pretty much means your pre, intra, and post. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.